From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big midday of LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update at noontime. We go over that $3.5 trillion RECON that passed. They'll pay viewers on this channel an average of $15,000. Cluster number one pass, including hazard pay, plus a $25,000 add-on. Cluster number two pass, including home repairs, plus a $250 billion add-on. On top of that, wow. Then we go to cluster number three pass, and then the potential add-on we've been looking for, that MSC. Wow, we have all the incredible deliciousness at noontime. Then we go over the big surprising details that are happening, as guess what? They're back. Congress is back in session for 3 weeks. All the latest details as a potential deal is in the works with Joe Manchin. And that deal is followed with two backup plans, which are being unearthed today. The backup plans are clean energy and fossil fuels. They're brand new at noontime. I'll have the latest details of what's going on. And then a big debt forgiveness. More debt could be forgiven this week. Then suddenly, COLA raise coming on in, but that's not the only raise you're going to get. There's another proposal of a raise thereafter. I have all the latest details in today's video, plus breaking news of a secret meeting between Joe Manchin, Chuck Schumer, and Bernie Sanders tonight. Wow, I got that and more. I've also got the third stimulus as viewers are getting upwards of $36,000 in the last week from the channel. I'm going to show you how to get this big money as well. We'll be cutting the fifth stimulus, and we'll be going over the latest details that happened just since noon, since this morning. It's all breaking, it's all right now, and it's all at noontime. Hey, good noontime, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I hope the weather is good where you are. It was brutally cold and dark this morning, and so the lighting was really peculiar on camera. But now the sun has come up, the rain has stopped, and we got beautiful weather here back in Southern California. Hope the weather is good where you are. Jump in the live chat and tell me where you're tuning in from in this big noontime recording. We go over the $3.5 trillion RECON in this recording. They'll pay viewers on average about $15,000. This is great news, and you should be ecstatic. I'm going to show you how to get this money when it's passed, plus an add-on of $25,000 being proposed, plus the add-on of $250 for my seniors and my disabilities, and the add-on of those MSCs. All incredible details as cluster 1, 2, and 3 all passed. Big money for viewers of this channel. Then we go over the surprise, as a lot is happening just in the last few minutes. We started the day with a lot of breaking news, but there's new breaking news since even this morning. Number one, they're back. Congress is back in session for 3 weeks. They got a lot to get done. I'll go over the latest details. Then a possible deal unearthed with Joe Manchin going into last weekend now gets a new lift with a potential 2 backup plans. Wow, those are clean energy and fossil fuels. Then more money for student loan debts could be coming, and then, finally, we got no less than 3 raises for COLA and SSI and SSDI. We got all those incredible details and more as we go into a big noontime broadcast. We got a secret meeting from Bernie and Chuck that has now been unearthed in the last few minutes. It's all just happening minutes ago. The meeting with Chuck, Bernie, and Joe Manchin coming up tonight. Am I invited to dinner? Let's see if I am. Those details and more, all brand new, and this is noontime. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week. Financial news channel in America, live in the morning, like right now, live from Santa Monica. And coming up next with Afternoons LA at 1 o'clock. This video will automatically take you there. Then we're back with 3 o'clock Afternoons LA and 5 o'clock Evenings LA. So subscribe, like this video, and consider becoming a member. Let's cut right to this incredible recon. You should be ecstatic. It's a recon valued at about $3.5 trillion, and it pays you, among these three clusters of checks passed, about $15,000. As soon as it becomes law, I'm going to show you how to get this approximately $15,000 from these incredible programs. But this is all for you. Single individuals, married couple, people with children, people without children, people in red states, people in blue states. It's all for you. Let's go over each of these three clusters of checks passed and the three add-ons proposed. Those $15,000 coming to you. Let's go to the first cluster of checks, hazard pay and elder care. Well, they got that in there. Earned income tax credit, broaden the eligibility so the hazard pay goes out, and this is more money as well. $4,000 of elder care per year, up to $4,000 a year as well for care for young children. They got grants to the university, to the student, and to the Pell's grant made tax-free, and then they got home repairs totally free. Wow. If you live in a low-income community, totally free home repairs will be in this first cluster pass. Then they got $51,000 of MSCs in there, monthly stimulus checks for the children. CTC, broaden the eligibility up to $300 every month, every year, up to 18 years. That is $51,000 of monthly stimulus checks. Then they got money in there for bikes, cars, and trucks, all electric, all U.S. auto manufactured. Up to 15% for the purchase price of a new electric bike, up to $7,500 for a new electric car. A little bit more if it's for business use, a little bit more if it's a truck. There you go. The first of three clusters of checks passed that'll pay you about $15,000 for these programs. But let's turn to the first add-on, and the first add-on is incredible. $25,000 of hard, cold cash going to you. What is this for? This is the program proposed by Maxine Waters, the legislator from Los Angeles. She's proposing to give you $25,000 for the purchase price of a first home. Wow. First home buyers, this would be you. When would you likely get this money? You would likely get this during escrow. During the escrow, the federal government would likely give the money right to the seller in your name. And there you go. That is the first add-on. Let's go to the second cluster of checks pass, and this is home repairs and paid leave. It's important to remember when you look at this recon, it's checks for everyone. And it's not COVID related. This is just checks for programs, life going on. Expansion of paid family leave, medical leave. How much is it? $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year. Split in half, $35,000 a year annual salary. This is $800 a week. Split in half, $400 a week if you make $15,000 or more per year. Family leave, you have to stay home because your wife is pregnant. Medical leave, you have to stay home because your son broke his leg. They got child care program checks in there, household tax credit checks. They got checks for seniors, more about that in the third clusters. Then they got pre-kindergarten totally free and community college totally free. And then they got checks in there to weatherize your home. Definitely needed to weatherize your home, especially if the moderate Democrats are on the roof. As I always say, keep the moderate Democrats out of the House. And wherever possible, keep the moderate Democrats out of the Senate. There you go. That is the second cluster checks pass of that $3.5 trillion for you. That's about $15,000 for most viewers of this channel. Let's go to the second add-on, and the second add-on is incredible. It's from Senator Bob Casey, the 61-year-old Democrat from Pennsylvania. It's $250 billion for you. For my seniors, my SSDI, my disabled individuals. This is big. What does Bob Casey want to do? He wants to give big money so that you get home health care totally free. He sees home health care as a big problem because it's too expensive. People can't afford it, so they have their son and daughter stay home and take care of their parents. Now he wants to have the money go to the state so that they can offer you home health care totally free if you're a senior on disability. And then your son and daughter wouldn't have to stay home, take care of you. They can go back into the workforce and alleviate the labor shortage. There we go. Let's cut to the third cluster of checks. And we got another world exclusive with this one. And it's also courtesy of Bob Casey. In this third cluster of checks, listen for the keywords of clean energy. It's coming up later in this video. All right, here we go. Cluster number 3, checks pass. Free school meals for all checks. Cheaper prescription medication checks. Checks for farmers. Checks for free internet. Collects checks for clean energy. There we go. And then we got checks for workers, independent contractors, checks for seniors like dental, vision, hearing care, and lowering eligibility age of Medicare, which brings me to a world exclusive. This channel has learned from Bob Casey's office that the 61-year-old Democrat is proposing to drop the Medicare eligibility age from 65 to 60. Wow, there you go. And that is your third cluster checks. One of the checks, and there's particularly great, is free internet. All you have to do is ask for the username and password because the cities are going to have free internet for you. What's the username? It is McConnell lobster sauce deliciousness. The password, not so much. Not really. Yuck. There you go. That is the third cluster. But you're ready for the third add-on? I think you are. I think you know what that third add-on is. And it is deliciousness. And here we go. MSCs. The third cluster, MSC, monthly IRS stimulus checks, gets not one, but three great news today. We went into last weekend with another viewer being told that by Chuck Schumer's office, he's inserting that monthly stimulus check provision. It follows W. Applegate, who was told that the week before, and also Donnie's wife the week before that. This is what advocacy gets you, and that's why you have to keep on advocating. Have you made phone calls today? Keep on advocating. Tell them why you need it, the personal story. Well, we have three big items to this MSC today. First, where do they add these things? We got three programs. We have Maxine Waters, we have Bob Casey's money, and we have the MSCs. Where do they add it? House or Senate? Let's go over the three possibilities. First, we have a House subcommittee bill. It's in a subcommittee, so it's not on the House floor. Actually, it's a subcommittee package, not a bill. It's in a subcommittee. Its subcommittee is below the House floor. So we also don't have a House bill. Before they get a House bill in the package, written by Sheila Jackson, the number 2 in the Progressive Caucus, they can add it in there. If they don't add it in there, then when you see the House bill, if it's not in the House bill, they can add it to the House bill before they call a House vote. That is critical. So AOC Omar looking at the House bill saying it's not in there. They can add it in there. Finally, the last big opportunity is the Senate side and the 2-day event called the Vote-O-Rama. Vote-O-Rama. That's when Mitch McConnell shows up and does his solid gold dancer moves. Yeah, it just sounds like the disco era, which, Mitch is sort of still in. He just sees sort of strobe lights all the time. That's why he doesn't really think that clearly. But, the Vote-O-Rama, it just sounds like, Studio 54 on senatorial terms. But anyway, the Vote-O-Rama is a 2-day event in which the senators introduce changes to whatever's passed by the House members. And during those 2 days, they introduce amendments or changes to the potential passed House bill. Who governs the Vote-O-Rama? Chuck Schumer. Who determines when things are called for a vote? Chuck Schumer. Who determines when they vote on things? Chuck Schumer. Who wants to insert an IRS monthly stimulus check provision during the Vote-O-Rama? Chuck Schumer's office represents. There we go. And who determines what you wear to the Vote-O-Rama? Mitch McConnell. He just wants to make sure you match your bell-bottom jeans well with a tie-dye psychedelic shirt. You know what? I'm sorry, Mitch. Your fashion sense is a little bit. Anyway, there we go. That is the Vote-O-Rama. Now, the second part of great news is those two key words from the third cluster. Clean energy. Well, insiders report, and you'll see this later in this video, that Joe Manchin's backup plan, the second backup plan for Joe Manchin, is clean energy. In this third cluster, there's a lot of checks for the subject matter of clean energy. One of those checks in there, Joe Manchin has one in there. So the backup plan is to remove that check, remove the check for clean energy. It's not to remove the funds, just remove the item of clean energy. So where do the funds go? They go to Purple Power Energy. They go to us. This is huge. Whenever they remove a program, the money gets reallocated to things like us. You saw this early in the summer when the Senate parliamentarian ruled that the money can't go to the Department of Justice, the judiciary, in this RECON. They had to remove that program, but the money got rerouted to us. The third big news, of course, is that statement from the Chief of Staff to the number 1 senator for your RECON. And the message is for me, and it's for you. This was communicated by a viewer of this channel to me, and this is what was said during that conversation with the Chief of Staff. This is the number 1 person, right below the senator himself. We now have in total between congressional and senatorial offices received more contacts of advocacy from the LA Purple Power than the number of signatures in the American petition. Wow. Everyone is amazed by the outpouring of touching stories from LA's viewers. Now they have more of a better understanding of how the Americans are trying to make it through the pandemic because of LATE. They have heartbreaking stories from the LATE viewers, and they have a voice of the people in LATE across the nation who has been heard because he's too loud to be ignored. Wow. Thank you so much. And then the final sentence is a message directly to me and also to you. That final sentence says this from the Chief of Staff. Please continue your encouragement, LALATE, for the continued advocacy as the professional voice you are, LALATE, for the people you have become, and continue until this becomes law. There you go. We got to push Purple Power until we're finished. Have you made those phone calls of advocacy today? Make them. In the second half of this video, we got a lot coming up as 1, 2, 3 backup plans now in place. 2 backup plans totally new for today to get this recon over the finish line. Then we have breaking news of a secret meeting unfolding tonight. It's totally new. It was not on Mornings LA. It just came out minutes ago. We have the latest details of student loan debt forgiveness. COLA raises, as you'll have 2 more raises after that. We have big details as people are getting big money on the third stimulus, upwards of $36,000 this last week. You can get as well. And then if we have time, which I think we will, I'll have my personal commentary of where they need to make modifications on the recon. It's all coming up in a big noontime. I'm excited you're here. I'll be back with you in just 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now at noontime with exciting great news as a $3.5 trillion recon has passed, which will pay viewers on this channel an average of $15,000. Congress is back, and I have the latest details as they return back into session today after a 3-week break. Then a possible deal in the works with Joe Manchin unearthed over the weekend. But today, 2 more backup plans you're hearing for the first time in this recording. Clean energy and fossil fuels. I'll explain the latest details. More student loan debts could be forgiven this week. COLA raises are coming on in. And then a secret meeting with Bernie and Chuck and another guy named Joe Manchin potentially happening tonight. I have all those incredible details and more. We'll be cutting back over to third stimulus, which is paying viewers big sums of money. Have you gotten $30,000 this week from this channel? Well, you can as well. How much money have you gotten from this channel? I'm going to show you how you can get thousands of dollars this week. There's lots of money available for you. Get that pen and paper ready. We got a big second half of this video heating up. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers is a YouTube record. I want you part of the federal family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video and become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. So you learn about these programs which are paying people $125,000 under third stimulus. You can get this money as well. Let's cut to the big surprise that absolutely delighted a country when the president announced more student loan debt was coming. The student loan debt was a huge one. First, what the president did was initially forgive student loan debts for people who became disabled. Then last week, the president forgave 2 more rounds of student loan debts. And boy, a personal story. That was incredible. First, he forgave student loan debts for people who went into the nonprofit sector. This is big. So if you worked in the nonprofit sector for 10 years after graduation, your debts are forgiven. Then the president has now forgiven debts for people who went to work for the public sector for 10 years after graduation. This is city county, state, or federal government, sanitation, public school teacher, Department of Public Works, yes, your debts are forgiven. One viewer heard this incredible message live on air. In the morning's countdown show, he was on the live chat, and he said, "But sir, I've been a federal guard in the Department of Prisons for 20 years since graduation. Are my debts forgiven?" I said, "Yes, sir, your debts are." He found out all his incredible debts had been forgiven after 20 years after watching this channel. There you go. Meantime, the president says he will forgive $10,000 of student loan debt for everyone. That's in the works, but the Democrats are looking to go bigger and bolder on that number as well. Well, guess what? They're back in town. The Congress is back in town, and they're back in town for 3 weeks. And the negotiations are heating up. A possible deal with Joe Manchin I'm going to go over first. That unearthed over the weekend. You heard it only here. I was the only broadcast channel to have the details. Then I'm going to go over the 2 new deals, backup plans being proposed today, and the big details coming out minutes ago as a secret dinner is proposed for tonight with Joe Manchin, Chuck Schumer, and also Bernie Sanders. That secret meeting is not yet confirmed, and when asked for a comment, both staffs would not confirm the meeting yet, but insiders say that the meeting is proposed. They are all part of what's called the leadership team in the Senate after a lot of war of words heated up between 2 of them over the weekend. Let's go over the big first possible deal with Joe Manchin, which I think is going to get done. I was the only broadcast media channel to cover this because it was buried in a print media article. Leaked on Friday was details that the president has now looked at one of the clusters of checks and said, you know what, let's change the wording so that the businesses, the big industries in Joe Manchin's home state of West Virginia qualify for the money and can compete for the money like everyone else. I think this is going to be a deal done. Joe Manchin's from the state of West Virginia. In West Virginia has several big industries, and those big industries are his biggest constituents. When we look at climate throughout this video, climate is not referred to. It's really dark outside. Why is the lighting so bad? It's really sunny outside. Why is the lighting so good? That's not climate. Climate is coal, natural gas, fossil fuels, things like that. Well, the president came up with a brilliant idea. Change the wording on one of the programs so Joe Manchin's biggest constituents qualify for billions of dollars. Oh boy, this sounds like a deal made match in heaven. The changes being proposed to one of these clusters of checks involve making it easier for eligibility to apply for coal and natural gas plants to receive billions of dollars from the RECON, a big possible payday for the fossil fuel producers in Joe Manchin's home state. Wow. That is the first plan. And Joe Manchin reportedly liked this deal when proposed to him by the president. This is something that apparently started on Wednesday, but was leaked out on Friday. I covered it on Friday night. That was the first plan. The second and third plan you're hearing for the first time at noontime right now. They involve clean energy, backup plan number 1, and and fossil fuels backup plan number 2. And carbon tax. Let's go over all the details of this starting right now. Well, clean energy is a big part of this third cluster. And that big third part of that cluster of clean energy has a lot of sub-checks in there. One of the checks in the clean energy Joe Manchin doesn't like. So he said, take it out. Reportedly, the White House has said, I will take it out. I will take out that clean energy check. And that's good news for you because, again, it gets reallocated to the purple power energy. It's just good. It's coming out. That's backup plan number 1. Backup plan number 2 is carbon taxes. What is this one? Well, a new report today says that they're now floating an idea to do a carbon tax in the RECON to get this solved with Manchin. It involves a carbon tax, which is like a national clean energy protocol solution. The carbon tax is, like any tax, always something you have to talk about. But the reason why they like the carbon tax is it can be done a lot of different ways. It can be written lots of different ways. And it is a subject matter that Manchin likes. So this has a lot of opportunity across the board. What's important to look at this, what's important to understand when we look at this RECON is there's 3 things they have to modify. 1, They have to modify the recon price point from 3.5 trillion into the low twos. Easy. I'm going to explain that to you in just 2 minutes from now. Number two, they have to change the prescription medication language so that Kristen Sinema likes it. I think this is done. Why? I haven't heard anything about this for over a week. I think this is a done deal. The prescription medication language was controversial unto itself, so just modify it. I haven't heard anything about this since then, so I think this could be done. Third, climate. Climate has a lot of different tentacles and a lot of different provisions in here. And now the great news is that the White House, Pelosi, myself, all realize that climate is really the last thing left. It was a month ago. It was 2 months ago. It was 3 months ago where you heard me say, we're not hearing from the moderate Democrats what they don't like. The great news is they're now very vocal. They're very vocal what they don't like. Certain provisions of climate. So just change them. Just change them the way they are, and then we get them done. Now, let's turn to how they get this recon done by bringing it from a $3.5 trillion price tag to a $2 trillion price tag. And it started no less than 3 months ago on this channel. When I started saying a few things where I said, I'm speculating 20 years, I'm speculating 10 years. Now I know, now you know, that those were all big exclusives at the time. Before we had a recon proposal. It was then 7 trillion. And at the time I said, I speculate the programs are running 20 years. We now know they were 20 years. Bernie Sanders said, I want 7 trillion. And they said, no. They said, cut it. So he cut it to 3.5 trillion. And he said he shortened the duration of the programs. We didn't know how much at the time. I speculated. 3.5 trillion, I speculated they're 10-year programs. We now have confirmation from Jalapal that the current programs at 3.5 trillion are 10 years. Well, 2 weeks ago I said, this is easy. Just shorten the duration of the programs. We need shorter programs, but with the same big, bold checks. And this is where you and I all agree upon the subject matter. Big checks, quick checks, right now for big programs for this year, next year, maybe the year after that. We don't need to worry about checks 8 years from now. We don't need to worry about things 9 years from now. We just need to worry about the next few years. And suddenly, we have a Vulcan mind melt with Pelosi, myself, and Jayapal all saying the same thing. One, that we can just shorten the duration. Two, keep the checks big and bold, beautiful. And then we have Pelosi, myself, and Alex Padilla all agreeing that the battleground really is finishing the language on the climate, and we're done. Let's go over some of the credible comments about the situation. We have some reaction comments about the issue. Senator Tina Smith says, we have a meaningful address. We have to do a meaningful address on climate change. Brian Schatz says you have a trifecta because you have the Senate, the President, and the White and the House all Democrat. You can't forgive that. You can't let that trifecta go away. Senator Mark Warren talks about being in control of the Democrats. The best way is to make sure you have that control, getting case points. You need to get things finished out. And Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Democrat out of Florida, says it's an old cliche. We can't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Absolutely. So it was about a week ago where Bernie says we need to hear from the moderates what they don't like. Now they're telling us, which is great. And then Pelosi suddenly becoming your advocate for your recon. Great news there. She says the recon will get done because it must get done. There you go. Then she's laser focused on that climate. That is the battleground. It is. Alex Padilla saying no climate, no deal. And Pelosi saying central to the recon is the climate part of the wording. Bob Casey saying, people are saying, why haven't you done this a long time ago? He says, that's what I've been saying. This hasn't been changed in 40 years of stuff. And then comes the game-winning quote from Jayapal. Jayapal says, basically what I say, which is quick, big checks now. Don't focus on 10 years. We would rather reduce the number of years for the programs because the universality of the benefits and the immediacy of the benefits are more absolutely critical. And frankly, it's more important to us to have that than having the entire 10 years. There you go. We're happy to see that Speaker Pelosi said something similar to that in her press conference today. That was Jayapal's comments. And Pelosi saying that on last Tuesday, that the way you do this is by shortening the duration of the programs. So there you go. We have 3 things to fix. The prescription medication language, Kristen Sinema, Think that's done because I haven't heard anything about it. Number two, changing the language of the climate to appease Joe Manchin. And number three, getting the recon from 3.5 down to 2 trillion. That's a no-brainer. That's really easy. I have more about that later in the final minutes of this video with a personal comment on the subject matter, but now let's turn to the big exciting details of that COLA raise. Your COLA money is going up 5 to 6%, but guess what? That's just the first one. What? Yes, you're going to get 2 more raises after that. Wow. Let's go over the incredible great news. I'm going to put forced stimulus aside for a second because forced stimulus has a lot of money for my seniors and beneficiaries, so I don't want you to get confused. Let's just focus on COLA and FIS stimulus. COLA is raising all your benefits up. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, veterans benefits in the next few weeks, 5 to 6%. But guess what? FIS stimulus comes after that, and that will give you 2 more lifts. Lift number 1. Everyone's benefits are going to go up one big time under FIS stimulus. This is you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, veterans benefits, or SSA, or multiple beneficiaries. Step 2, they're going to apply a new benchmark. And think if this is the law, let's say in February, then they'll apply the new benchmark in December. The new benchmark is inflation. Inflation is going to have a number next year, maybe 2-3%. It ain't going to be 0. COLA could be 0 next year, which is why you want this new inflationary benchmark. So let's recap. You're going to get 1, 2, 3 lifts. First, you're going to get lift up from COLA. Then, once FIS stimulus becomes law, you get that additional lift up one time. And then they have the new benchmark applied next year, the third lift up. 3 lifts in less than 12 months. Wow, incredible, great news. They're going to remove the asset cap dating back to a 1980s law. This is you're going to have more than $3,000 in hand. Now you will be and be able to have some muddled purple. I'm just saying muddled. They're going to move the income cap dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. It's going to go away. Finally, the marriage penalty is going to win, and love is going to win, and marriage penalty is going to lose, and the marriage penalty is going to win. Love is going to win, and the marriage penalty is going to lose, and you'll be able to marry your longtime love interest and no longer fear the loss of benefits. And that's FIS stimulus. There you go. It's getting deliciousness. But can we top that? Oh boy, can we ever top that? How does 36,000 sound to you? Well, that is what another viewer did last week. Another viewer started the week at 0, ended the week with 36,000. Get that pen and paper ready because today is your day as well. I'm going to get you money. You want money? You want some money today? I got money for you. We're going to go over third stimulus. Viewers are getting money every single week from this channel, whether it's $6,000 or $7,000 or $36,000. We're going to get some rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, money for food. We're going to get some money for clothing, also some appliances, and maybe even some holiday gifts. And if you've gotten these monies before, you are going to get some more of it again. First, we're going to start with the rent. The rent is absolutely incredible. I'm going to show you 6 places to reach out to. Reach out to all 6. They have different eligibility. They have different pots of money. Also, get ready for the keywords I say in this video. And then the nonprofits. All right, here you go. You're going to get that money for rent. City Hall, City House Authority is where you're going to reach out to. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall, and State House Authority. Those 6 places are the where you're going to reach out to. The keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. And this is the money for rent that people are getting. Wow. And guess what? The money is even growing. Mark went into last weekend with $25,000, 2 weekends ago with $25,000 of rent. He got another $36,000, bringing his grand total to nearly $90,000 from this channel. People are getting about $40,000 for rent. And if you got in rent before for this channel, get more rounds. People are getting 2 to 3 rounds. Utilities, yeah, utilities, you can get it. Mark's brother-in-law's got $15,000 for utilities. Reach out to all utility companies. If you have 5, reach out to all 5. Snap. Get it. If you haven't, why not? Eligibility is easier than a stimulus check. SNAP is incredible. You get it from Department of Agriculture, and everyone's benefits are going up an average of 25% a lifetime automatically starting this month. I've been seeing incredible comments in the live chat. People going from $40 to $340, people going from $100 to $500. It's just a huge lift. Get multiple combo items across the board. Here are my combo people. Here's Mark. He got to $90,000 now. Now here's Lorraine. She's at about $120,000. Then come our nonprofits. Ready for those nonprofits? I am. Here they are. The nonprofits are great because they do the same items as third stimulus, but with different eligibility. Reach out to all those 6 places. If you find the money and they say no because you're not eligible, reach out to the nonprofits. Here are the 5 nonprofits: United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, and St. Vincent de Paul. They do the same items as fifth as third stimulus, just with different eligibility. The other thing that's great about the nonprofits is they do different items that the federal government doesn't do. They help homeless people get into shelters. They give you money for clothing. They also give you small appliances. Common theme is they don't want you to freeze to death. They don't want you to burn up in the thick of summer. So fans, portable heaters, portable furnaces, also window repairs, broken windows. They don't want you to freeze up, or blankets, things like that. Then, as to holiday gifts, Salvation Army, I've been talking about since September. I said they come in October. Some Salvation Armies have run out of the holiday gifts already. Few have some holiday meals. Here again are the 5 nonprofits: United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, and St. Vincent de Paul. Next, the unemployment benefits. Yes, they're coming back from the state and the federal government. Unemployment benefits due to overpayment. Average payment is about $3,000 to $5,000. Reach out to your state. And then the refund check from IRS due to the taxes you paid on those unemployment benefits. Get it. Average payment is about $1,200 to $2,000. Margaret got it. Cod got it. If you got any of these big sums of money, post in the live chat right now, because when you do, you inspire other people. Finally, if you haven't become a member, what are you doing? Members get the incredible newsletter Monday through Friday that shows them how to get all the money from these big programs. When forced stimulus becomes law, so far, with 3 clusters of checks, you will get about $15,000 from these programs. You should be ecstatic. As soon as it becomes law, I'm going to show you how to get about $15,000 from these 3 programs. This is you. This is you. And I'm going to detail for you. I've been doing this since January, when third stimulus became law, and I immediately showed people how to get what I thought was going to be $15,000 from third stimulus. Average viewer from my recordings has gotten upwards of $40,000 from third stimulus. The newsletter is written by me, and it comes out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, from the YouTube alert system and the LALATE alert system, which is totally free. The LA alert system is news.la.com/alerts. It's also in the description of this video. And we now have 2 volunteers who can help you find the LA alert system and the newsletter as well. Consider becoming a member today to get that emoji behind your name and get that newsletter. That's how you learn how to get these big sums of money. Anyone who's tracking forced stimulus with me should be ecstatic and ready to pounce to get all these big monies into forced stimulus. But remember, there's a lot of money for third stimulus to get more rounds of it. If you've gotten 1 round of something, get another round. It's available right now. And with that, let's go into the final minutes of this video with my personal commentary of the situation and what I see in these next 3 weeks. My personal commentary of the situation is there's one guy who is really key to the situation, and I usually don't cover him until today on this channel. He is the climate czar, John Kerry, the former senator. And what is the president looking at with climate? The president's concerned about carbon emissions, the impact on the environment, the impact on the consumption of energy. And we all agree these are big, important issues. As Alex Padilla and Nancy Pelosi say, these are big, important issues. But I really do believe that these are not big, important issues that have to be done in fall of 2021. They can be done in the 6th stimulus package, in spring of next year after we do 5th stimulus. They can be done now. They can be done then. They don't have to be done now. If you can do them now, good. But as I look at this recon, we can certainly get the prescription medication language changed. That's easy for Kristen Sinema. We can currently get the $3.5 trillion recon down to $2 trillion. That takes 10 seconds. Just shorten the programs to 5 years, done. Everyone likes that. Everyone wants to do that. Jayala, Paul, Pelosi, everyone, myself, we all want to do this. But so what's holding this up? A couple provisions about climate. A couple provisions about climate with Joe Manchin. And while he has a position about climate, that is his right to have a position about climate, it shouldn't impede the rest of the recon. As Jayalapal and myself and you say, we need big, bold checks that are urgent and immediate to go out to the American people. Those last 4 words are critical. To the American people. These checks need to go out now to the American people. These programs need to be funded right now. So you get these big monies, $15,000 from this recon, need to go out now. And the climate checks, the checks to fix the climate, which are not checks to you, it's checks to fix the climate, don't need to be done now, right now. They're not a sense of urgency. The climate, however bad it is now, will be the same bad in a few months from now. They can do the climate in spring of next year. They don't have to do the climate right now. There's a sense of urgency to get this done. There's a sense of political urgency. There's a sense of economic urgency. There's a sense of social urgency. And they need to get it done right now. So in the next few days, I hope that Pelosi, in her leadership, sees that we can make 1, 2, 3 backup plans for climate. But ultimately, if the provision about climate is so controversial that you can't get the RECON finalized because of one provision about the climate, take the provision of the climate out. It's about as simple as simple. Just take the provision of the climate out, and then we're done. The moderate Democrats aren't against giving you money. They're just against certain provisions. Prescription medication, climate, and a RECON that ran 10 years. At a RECON of 5 years, they're on board. With provisions of climate that are controversial taken out, they're on board. Done. Get it done. Don't default to doing too much at one time. 2021 is not the year to be doing climate. You can do it in 2022. We have a sense of urgency and the money needs to go out now. And with that, I hope you agree. I'm back next with you with a big Afternoons LATE show, which is at 1 o'clock. Then we got the new Afternoons show at 3 o'clock. And then we got Evenings LATE at 5. The new Evenings Countdown at 6, the hit show. And boy, am I excited for you. Why? Because the shows all throughout the evening, all to the next day, are now about forced stimulus. The same packages, the same proposals, because we've been talking about them since then. We got shows at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11:30, 3, and 3:30. And of course, we have Overnight Script as well, all about forced stimulus. So don't miss a single show. I'll be in the live chat as well. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino, VIP to get that newsletter and more. Have a big, bold, beautiful day. I'll see you next on Afternoons LA at 1 p.m. Stay informed, stay focused, keep smiling, and stay with LA for more.